Hello and welcome to Boss Rush Island 2. We'll be starting off with Sada in the bottom right hand corner of this little area and leave her on first targeting with a tech bot up in the corner. However, the tech bot isn't necessary, it will help things out. I just don't like pressing abilities myself. Then get up a 002 Spike Factory and target it away from the track so that it hits Phayze, but not actually destroying anything else. Here we managed to get 126 pops, which is a pretty good score. However, with this guide, I guarantee you, if you don't make too many mistakes, you're definitely going to get 120. So, upgrade our Spike Factory to a 032 over time, obviously, and then get down a second one, and get down a 420 Spike-a-Pult on last. If you're a little bit slower, you can go for these Spike-a-Pults and Juggernauts a little bit earlier. As you saw, we upgraded it to a Juggernaut immediately after. And now, after we get down a third Spike Factory and make sure they're all targeted, we're going for another 402 this time to deal with Camel Balloons. Get down in a couple more Spike Factories. We got 1, 2, and 3. All set targets. It's very annoying, but whatever. And then after that, we can go for a 420 Desperado Monkey on Strong. Around now, you're going to see some balloons trying to get through, and just whenever you do have an issue with leaks, right, which is starting now, we are going to be getting down a 402 Juggernaut in the back, and then upgrading it to an Ultra Jug, as well as getting up a 240 Rocket Storm Dartling Gun. You can get the Ultra Juggernaut a little bit before I did. If you do it before the Rocket Storm, it'll be safer. However, I did this without any lives leaked, so while it looks dangerous, it's actually not that bad. Make sure you're keeping up with the Spike Factories and placing down a 104 Alchemist on first targeting just to get more money. However, it's not really needed. Anyways, once you have enough money, you sell the Spike Factories and the Desperados for a Mad, and then get up a Monkey City with extra range, and that is just so that both the Mad and the Ultra Juggernaut is in range of it. You can sell it to move it if your placement's a little bit off. We're not too money tight at the end here, so don't you worry about it. Get up an Alch buff for the Mad. It should be a 301 or a 401. Either way works, however, I just like doing a 401 in case I misplace something and, we get another tower in there. Place down some more 104 Alchemists. You can have one on last, one on first. I just put down 2 extras, but you can see the first one we place is also attacking. And then get up another 240 Dartling Gunner. That one's obviously not as much of a rush, which is why I didn't say it for a while. But yeah, we just get it up and we outbuff it because we are going to be selling our Mad to reposition it and get an extra ability off, which is pretty nice. And with all of your extra money, you should go for a Plasma Monkey Fan Club that we're just going to use, and get a couple of Dart Monkeys with extra range so that they can actually hit Phayze. After Phayze has turned the spend, you want to get one last Mad ability, and then once that Mad ability is out, you can sell the Mad and get your other Dartling Gunner to a Mad, and of course, use the ability. You should be using the ability every time you can, and just making sure that the targeting is following Phayze, and work on getting a bunch of 032 Dart Monkeys up so that we can get some pops for the Plasma Monkey Fan Club. You don't need too many pops, so if you're doing things slower, don't really worry about this. I have this whole footage sped up at 1.5 times speed, so that's why it all feels kind of rushed. You guys should be okay. So yeah, just make sure your Mad is hitting Phayze at this point, and you are maxing out all of your tower slots. You can sell Sada to get down one more Dart Monkey if you want to, however, I kind of forget to. It doesn't really matter. Now, we are kind of selling some unimportant things, like the other Alchemist that is no longer buffing anything. Not that important anymore, obviously. And just getting down some more Dart Monkeys to fill in the space. You don't want to upgrade any to a Super Monkey Fan Club because that just costs money, which means we'll get up the Dart Paragon later. And once you're at about $60,000, which is a very safe number, you can start selling your Rubber to Gold Alchemists, get down, one last Mad ability to be safe, and sell everything in order to get up your Dart Paragon. Right, and by everything, obviously I do not mean the darts. After that, we're going to turn down our effect scale which is just because the Dark Paragon releases all of these balls and they never disappear pretty much, which is extremely powerful but extremely bad on visuals, so that's why we turned on the effect skill. You can get down like 3 rubber to golds on first. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to really be able to make money here, but it's not that expensive and they probably at least break even, so yeah, why not? Get down another Mad and make sure it's targeted onto the boss, of course, and get down a 401 Alchemist to buff both the Mad and, oh hey look, we got a Super Mines. 502, by the way. And we'll start working on a Call to Arms. Of course, you just want to target your Mad, use the Mad ability, use the Call to Arms ability, you get the whole gist. Upgrade to Homeland Defense before you use the Call to Arms ability so that you can just real quick get up the Homeland and then go for a backup Call to Arms. From here, there's a lot of options. It would probably be best to micro the Call to Arms, or not micro the Call to Arms, to, use the Homeland, sell the Homeland, upgrade Call to Arms to Homeland, use Homeland, do that cycle, but that would be really painful. So instead, we're just going to buff our Super Mines using the Abysmal Dweller, and then Lord of the Abyss, just in range of the Spike Factory. We get up the Perma Brew, and then we also get up a 205 Final Harmonic. These all, of course, are going to be able to buff things up just a little bit and give you a little bit more damage. But almost all of your damage comes from your Dark Paragon on Strong, so yeah, just keep that in mind. And here we get up the Permanent Brew. And again, I would recommend, if you really want slightly more damage, then you could go for Homeland Defense microing, but it's not needed at all. Hope this boss rush guide helped y'all out. I'm real sorry I didn't get out a top 50 boss guide last week. I've just been, really dead in homework and stuff, but I'm doing better now, no longer sick, and yeah. If this guide helped you out, be sure to use code YOBOY, that's YOBOI, in the BTD6 store, and leave a like, subscribe, comment below your score, or any tips you have, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.